Hello. Is anybody on yet? Hello, hello, hello. Who we got? There's Martha and Angela. Hi, y'all. Hi, Rayetta. How is everybody today? Can you hear me? Are you listening? Is anybody out there? I'm not gonna sing. Hi, Patsy. I hope everybody's doing good today. It's Thursday. We're almost there. We've almost made it to Friday. I'm ready. Hey, Rayetta. All right, y'all. It's been requested. Some of you saw my shrimp and grits picture that I had posted of some shrimp and grits that I had made previously. So tonight we're having shrimp and grits. Also, I like to have a little something green. I just like to have a vegetable of some kind. So I'm gonna just make a vegetable medley, and Donnie might eat it and he might not, but that's what we're gonna have. We're gonna have shrimp and grits, and then for a vegetable, we're gonna have a vegetable medley. So, I'm gonna chop these onions up real quick before I get my knife and my cutting board into this bacon. I've got the bacon right here in front of me, but I'm just chopping up some green onions, and I'm gonna put those on the top, you know, after we get it, you just kind of garnish it with them. Maybe somebody might eat it. So if you all saw my post on my personal page today, I'm fine. I took a little tumble yesterday. Nothing out of the ordinary for me. I'm just a klutz, and so I'll do that here at some point. Hey, Roger, I'm making shrimp and grits. It's shrimp and grit night. So anyway, if you saw my post on my personal page, I took a little trip to Nowhere Fun. I went from upright to down on the ground. I'm just sore. Nothing major. Just a little sore because I'm a klutz. But that's just par for the course. I do that all the time. So no, not all the time, but I stepped in a hole in the yard. So, but I'm fine. I just made that little post on my personal page this morning because I thought it was funny. When you fall, hi Addie. Addie says hi. Hi Addie. Hey baby. There goes the phone again. Let me see who's calling. I bet it's my mama. Nope, I don't know who that is. That's probably somebody telling me that my extended warranty has expired on my car. I'm gonna ignore them. All right, so we're making shrimp and grits tonight. I just chopped up some green onion just for garnish. You can use it or not, doesn't matter. To start out with, I'm going to chop up some bacon. I'm just gonna cut it in kind of big pieces like this, and then I'll break them up. And I'm gonna start browning this bacon. Probably got too much really, because you know, no more than I'm gonna be making for us. I'm gonna brown this bacon in the pan that I'll be cooking the grits in. So I'm gonna put it on the stove over here and get it cooking. Let's go over to the stove. And let's see if I can get my camera around here where you guys can see. I've just got a little saucepan I'm gonna cook them in. Now, this is kind of a mimic of a recipe that my good friend Miss Joan Holland gave me. Joan watches a lot. If you're watching, Joan, say hey. She makes awesome cheddar grits. They're so good. She bakes them, and we've had them for breakfast at her house before, and they're awesome. So this is just a quick way to it's a little play off of that. They're nowhere near as good as her grits, but they're good. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn my heat on and grab my bacon. Let me set this over here out of the way for a minute. So I've sliced this bacon. I've cut it up actually in little pieces. I could cook it in whole strips, be fine, and then cut it up afterwards. I could cook it in the microwave and sprinkle it, because I'm going to sprinkle it on top of the grits. But I like to cook it in this pan that I'm going to cook my grits in. And then when I put the grits in, I'm not going to wash it in between. I will drain off a lot of the grease. I'm going to drain the grease off. But it gives those grits a good flavor to cook them in this pan. So I probably got too much bacon here for just the two of us, because there's just two of us. So, you know, you may have to modify yours a little bit to stretch out to have enough for everybody in your family. So, it's possible too that I burn this and I need some more. Oh goodness. Roger, I hope you didn't talk to Donnie today about his supper last night, because it was terrible. It was just terrible. I'll put a lid on that. Let it cook down a little bit. I love bacon too, Sherry. Yeah, supper last night was nothing to break around this house. You know, you can't have it great every night, right? So, yeah, we didn't have a good supper last night. So, okay, there we go. I've got my bacon started. So, what I'm going to move to next is just some vegetable medley. Now, I have got, I guess I should just keep the camera somewhere. I have got just some frozen broccoli, cauliflower, and carrots. And I'm just going to kind of steam them here on the stove. I'm going to put them in this skillet. And I'm going to add some butter to it. These are frozen, so some water will cook off of them. And I might as well add a little olive oil too. So then I'm just going to take out some of the vegetables. This has a lot more broccoli in it than anything, because I poured a bag of broccoli in where we had been using this. We like the broccoli the best. So I got some butter in this skillet, these frozen vegetables. And guess what I'm going to put on it? You got it. I'm going to put some of my Creole seasoning that I like to use so well. You could just put salt and pepper if you wanted to. Whatever you want, just salt. So I'm just going to put a lid on that. And I'm just going to let it kind of steam and cook. I'm going to check my bacon. Yeah, it's starting to cook. I want my bacon to get pretty crispy. You'll be sure and ask him now. Yeah, it wasn't good. I ate the burnt ones, if that helps. I grilled some chicken last night, and I had some grilled chicken and a salad, and I think that's really all I had. And oh no, I made some of those potatoes like I made last week. If y'all watched that, I made some of those, but I cut them more in wedges. They were good. They were really good. But yeah, I burned a few of the chickens, so I ate those, and I let him eat the ones that weren't burned. Because you know what I say, I like it that way. Anytime I burn something, that's what I say. But I like it that way. So I'm not cooking the shrimp yet because they take just a minute, really, to cook. So I'm going to get this bacon cooked up, and then I'm going to drain it on this platter with a paper towel. Well, I got a minute. Let me tell you about my platter. I talk about, you know, some of my utensils and things in my kitchen that mean a lot to me and that bring back memories when I'm cooking. And this platter brings back memory of my mom's cousin, who's passed on now, Miss Helen Dooley. If y'all all remember Miss Helen Dooley gave me this platter for my housewarming when we built our house. But it even has more meaning because when she gave me this, she told me where it came from, how she came about it. My great-grandmother gave her this platter years ago after her house had burned, their house had burned, and this was my great-grandmother's platter. And you know how we do, we just gather up things that we have and give to people, and my grandmother had done that. My great-grandmother, Miss Ethel Pope, had given her this platter. So I do use it. I know I should put it up and never use it. But you know, I like to use things because they mean a lot to me, and I like to get my hands on them and use them. And so that's why I always think about Miss Helen Dooley and my great-grandmother's platter. So just a little memory. Y'all probably don't care about that stuff, but I do. So, all right. This bacon is coming along. I'm starting to smell it. I'm gonna go ahead and check on my vegetables. I don't know if y'all can see the stove or not. I feel like you can't. There we go. I'm just gonna check on my vegetables. My mama always had to have something green for supper when we were growing up, and so I kind of feel like I do too, so I try. Sometimes I'm the only one who eats it, but Donnie does like broccoli, so we're gonna have that broccoli. I'm still browning up my bacon, and I could have used a bigger pan, but like I said, there's only 2 of us, so if you're cooking for a bigger group, you want to increase your portions, I'm sure. Hi, Miss Hilda. Hey, Wanda. Thanks, Martha. I do too. I just, you know, cooking just brings back memories for me, and especially when I get to cook with things and use things. You know, I don't like to put things in a shelf and never use them. I like to use my good dishes. You know, I like to use things like that. There's Miss Joan Holland. She's watching now. Joan, I mentioned you a minute ago. I don't know if you heard it. I'm making shrimp and grits, Joan. I'm not using your recipe, but it's kind of loosely, you know, it kind of reminds me of your recipe, but yours is way better than mine. The recipe that Miss Joan has, we eat it for breakfast a lot, especially like at Christmas, things like that. These are a good savory grit. They're going to have cheese in them. Now, the kind of cheese that you use, I just use whatever I have on hand. I usually have cheddar because cheddar is my favorite. And then a lot of times I might have like a Monterey Jack or Kobe Jack, just something like that. Tonight I'm using a mix of cheddar and that Mexican blend. I think it's like a Kobe Jack blend. So that's the cheeses that I'm using tonight. This is really fast. This is going to come together fast. And it's really good. I want to check my broccoli. This is probably done enough for me, but I'm going to let it go a little longer and get a little more tender. But I do like mine still kind of firm. The way I'm cooking this broccoli, you can also make you a full pack and put on the grill. The vegetables, you can cook it on the grill just like it. Okay, the bacon is just about there. And once the bacon gets there, I'm going to put the grits on. Let me grab those grits real quick. And let me check out my... Okay, this bacon is just about there, and it really depends on if you like your bacon crunchy or if you like your bacon kind of, I call it floppy. I'm a crunchy bacon person. I don't know what y'all are, but... And then Donnie will say I burned it, so I have to get it out before I think it's ready for him. You know they say opposites attract, right? I guess that's true. Ooh, see, I'm gonna break my dish. I'm gonna go ahead and get some of this bacon out, because like I said, I have to get it out a little sooner for him. Let it go a little longer for me. And if you don't, if you want to go even faster and you don't want to do this step, you can buy those little bags of the bacon pieces at the store. But you don't get that flavor on your grits, but they're good. They're fine. Crunchy, please. Yeah, me too, Joan. And this will probably kind of, after it cools down, it'll be a little crunchier. Okay, come on, get done. Let me check on my vegetables again. I think they're done. Yeah, they're plenty done. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put the lid on them and turn them off. And I'm just going to slide them to the back and let them sit there and they'll be fine. So if you missed it, my vegetable medley, it had butter, a little olive oil in the pan, and then I had some of the Creole seasoning on it. Okay? All right, my bacon's good. I'm gonna get my bacon out. I'm gonna set the smoke alarm off because this pan is smoking. I wouldn't doubt it. My smoke alarms are very sensitive, so I probably will set it off. Okay, I'm gonna just drain this grease because I really don't want the grease on my grits. Let me set that off the hot eye for just a second while I open up my grits. I'm just using quick grits. I don't know, they may take my Southern card for it. I don't really care. It's just these quick grits. You can buy them at the Pig, where mine came from. And Donnie will say, why'd you cook so many? But I'm gonna make a cup here. I'm gonna go ahead and pour them in the bottom. And I'm just gonna stir them around a little bit. I did pour the grease off, but it's still got the little bits of bacon and stuff in the bottom. And now I'm gonna pour my water in. And I'm basically cooking these according to the package directions. You know, I got my measurements off of the package as far as how much water and how much grits, that ratio. I just looked at my package. So I'm going to stir these up, and hopefully, let me turn my heat up just a hair. Yeah, they're already starting. I'm gonna cover them until they kind of start boiling. Now, while that's getting ready, I'm gonna grab my shrimp. All right, so my shrimp, so if I can come over here a little bit, are just, these are the extra large is what they said. They will shrink up, so I like to get the jumbo or the extra large because they'll draw up and be smaller. They're raw. I just bought them in the frozen food section, peeled and deveined, took the tails and the skins off, all that. In my pan, I'm gonna put some, I need a new olive oil decanter. I'm gonna put some olive oil. I'm gonna wipe my hand off. And I'm gonna put butter. The olive oil and butter mix is supposed to like lower the smoking factor, I think is what they call that. I don't really know. I mean, I'm not often brown or anything. I don't know. It just makes it not smoke as bad. Sometimes when you cook with just butter, it'll smoke up. But I want both. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this started. Let me go ahead and check on my grits a minute. Yeah, they're getting thicker. They're not really boiling yet, but that's okay. I didn't salt them. I don't know if you noticed, I haven't salted them because I'm gonna season them up. This is getting hot. Now, for my shrimp, basically I'm gonna use my Creole seasoning. And I sometimes use just Old Bay, and sometimes I use this Creole seasoning, sometimes I use a mix. It's really just whatever I pick up. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna sprinkle this Creole seasoning in here. Now this stuff is warm. Let's see, that's the one I use for my vegetables. I'll just stick it over there. And I'm gonna just start kind of tossing these with the seasoning on them. It will not take but just a minute for these to get done. Now, I don't really think they have enough on them. Now, sometimes this can get kind of salty, but I heard they had it with a no salt version, so I haven't tried that yet. But sometimes if I want more of the seasoning rather than the salt, I'll add some of this Old Bay in it to give it just a little more of the heat and the flavor. So those should be good. They're coated really good. All right, I got my smoking factor going on over here. I'm just gonna add them to this pan of butter and olive oil. There we go. Now they're gonna start cooking very quickly. They'll turn pink, kind of white and pink when they're done. I'm gonna go ahead and put a lid on them for a moment while I check on the grits. Yeah, the grits are starting to thicken. They're not, you know, boiling good yet. But they're doing good. I'm gonna put a lid back on them. And I'm gonna go ahead and check my shrimp. You see, it's already turning colors. It's already pinking up. And as you can see, they shrink up. They do shrink up. So let's go ahead and let them cook a little more. Go ahead and let my grits start to boil good. All right, who's watching? We got Melinda watching and Retha, Tina, Jimmy. Hey, y'all. Hope all you guys have had a good week. I'm ready for the weekend myself. The weather has turned beautiful. The humidity has dropped down here. I don't know about where y'all are, where Miss Joan is in Chicago, and where everybody else is. Let's see, I was just making sure I didn't have anything else over there I needed. But the weather, I don't know. I haven't seen any weather, so I don't know if it's going to stay like this for the weekend or if we're going to get back to that high humidity. But, yeah, these are just about done. You can see them. They're really... I dropped one! Oh, no! I'm not picking another one up because these are worth their weight in gold. Y'all can just hear. There we go. I guess Fagan gets that one. I don't know if Fagan eats shrimp. He likes fish. I don't know if he likes shrimp. Got a runaway shrimp. Alright. I'm just kind of trying to let it all come together here. I'm fixing to turn these shrimp off here in just a minute because I don't want to overcook them. They'll get mushy. I just want them to cook good and be good and tasty. Alright, come on, boil you babies. I want this juice in these grits to really start thickening up. And once that happens, I'm going to add my cheese. And then I'm going to add my seasoning. And then we're pretty much done as soon as that gets done. So here they come. They're coming up to a good boil. Now I keep stirring them because I don't want the lumps in them. 3-second rule. I know, Roger. If I hadn't been live, I probably would have picked it up. I could rinse it off at the sink, couldn't I? Thanks, Robin. My sweet niece Amy made my shirt for me. Ain't that cute? Robin likes my shirt. I wonder if I've got anybody out there that just will not eat seafood. I'm sure some of you don't. If you don't, you can make these grits and eat them with something else. You don't have to eat them with shrimp. You could probably eat them with chicken. I like shrimp, though. I'll tell you something else I do sometimes. When I cook this, I'll get imitation crab meat. You know those packs of imitation crab meat? And I'll cook it in this butter and with the seasoning just like this. So I've got a little extra meat. Alright. I don't want them to get mushy. So I'm going to set them on the back. Now my grits are starting to bubble. See how they're thickening up and bubbling good? I'm going to let them get a little bit thicker. I don't know about y'all, but this gas stove, it gets so hot. Sometimes when I'm stirring something, my hand will literally like start burning and I'll think, well, I don't have any hair left on my arm. Alright, these are getting good and thick. See how thick they're getting? Let me turn them down a hair. They're really doing good. Now I've got about 2 cups of cheese here. I like a lot of cheese. So I'm going to put all this cheese. Well, if you don't eat grits. I don't know what to tell you if you don't eat grits, Roger. I'm telling you, you need to try them. Because I don't like grits just like a thing of grits to eat like with breakfast. But when you season them up like this and you put the cheese in it, Donnie says they're good. Yep, they are. And I've got a mix of cheddar and just cheddar and Colby Jack. Now, I'm going to use my whisk and try to get this cheese mixed in here good. I think I'm going to go ahead and turn the heat way down. Alright, while I'm stirring it, I'm going to put a generous helping of this Tony seasoning in it. I'm telling you, if you don't like grits, you should really, really try them like this. Because like I said, I don't like, if you know you go to Cracker Barrel and you get grits with your breakfast. No, thank you. I mean, I can put sugar in them and eat them okay. But just to eat them like that, they're just bland. They're just like not just eating a, I'm not going to say what they're like eating, but they're just blunt. But when you add cheese and you add this Creole seasoning, it just takes it to a whole new level. You can also do like garlic. You know, if you don't use the Creole seasoning, you can do garlic and salt and pepper, a little cayenne pepper in it. It's probably about the same thing as this Creole seasoning, but it's really good. Now, y'all know me, I've got to taste it. I got to see, is it seasoned enough? My mother-in-law, she don't taste nothing she cooks. If you watch the fried pie video, you heard her say that. Those are good. Well, come on down, Roger. All right, y'all. Supper is ready. I mean, that's fast. See how? 30 minutes and I'm done. Let me plate it up for you. I like to eat them. I like to put them in this little bowl. Let me get my mama's broke ladle out. Let's see. And I like to just ladle some grits in the bottom. I may need a little more. All right. Then, find the right spoon. I like to find this spoon because I can get some of that juice, and I'll spoon my grits on top. I mean my shrimp on top of my grits, and I like to get some of this juice and swirl around it. Put a few another shrimp or two on it. And then take some of my crunchy bacon and sprinkle on top of that. And then, let's just come back over here. Take a few of the green onions. Nothing's got to be a hunk on it. And there is shrimp and grits. And it's so good. Some of them are starting to sink. Sometimes I get my grits a little thicker, and as they sit, they're gonna thicken up. So right now it's really soft because it's hot. So it's gonna thicken up, and the grits aren't gonna sink in there as quickly as they are right now. And then on the side, just so I can say that I'm being healthy, I've got a little side of my vegetables. So there we go, shrimp and grits and some steamed vegetables. There we go. So, you need to try it. Like I said, if you don't eat grits and you never tried them this way, try them. I really think you'll like them. All right, well, thank you everybody for joining me today. That was really quick and fast. And I don't know if I can wait for Donnie to get home because I love me some shrimp and grits. Y'all have a good Friday. Have a good night tonight. And I don't know if I'll see you this weekend, but maybe I will. We'll have to see. Bye-bye.